The race session is at Bridgehampton in Bridgehampton, USA. Martijn Mol from Netherlands is first. Attila Ksanyi from Hungary is second. Zsolt Ksanyi from Hungary is P3. Brian Patterson is fourth. Glenfield from United Kingdom is P5. Richard Ogden is sixth. John Astrup from New Zealand is P7. Rene Robertson is eighth. Martijn Mol is first. "30 minutes remaining in the session. Race start. Attila Ksanyi is third. Attila Ksanyi is now P2. Attila Ksanyi passed Martijn Mol for first. Martijn Mol is P2. Attila Ksanyi in Millstone Straight is second. Glenfield in turn 5 is P4. Richard Ogden in turn 7, Valley of the Lefts is P6. Richard Ogden is now P5. Zsolt Ksanyi in turn 10-11, Lightbulb is P6. Richard Ogden in East Straight is P8. Richard Ogden passed John Astrup for P7. John Astrup is 8th. John Astrup passed Richard Ogden for 7th. Richard Ogden in turn 2, Hansjan turn on lap 2 is 8th, 0.5 behind John Astrup. Richard Ogden is now P7. Attila Ksanyi is P2, 0.8 behind Martijn Mol. Rene Robertson in turn 10-11, Lightbulb is P5, 1.1 behind Glenfield. Richard Ogden is 7th. Richard Ogden lost 7th to Jules Xanyi. Rene Robertson in turn 2, Hans-Jan turn is 5th, 0.6 behind Glenfield. Attila Xanyi in turn 5 is 2nd, 1.2 behind Martijn Mol. Rene Robertson in turn 7, Valley of the Lefts is 5th, 0.2 behind Glenfield. Glenfield is P4, 0.6 ahead of Rene Robertson. "25 minutes remaining in the session. Rene Robertson is P5, 0.4 behind Glenfield. Brian Patterson in Millstone Straight is 3rd, 1.8 behind Attila Xanyi. Glenfield in Echo Valley is P5, 0.2 behind Rene Robertson. Brian Patterson in turn 10-11, light bulb is P3, 2.0 behind Attila Xanyi. Richard Ogden exiting pits. Glenfield in turn 13, Arendt's turn is P5, 0.6 behind Rene Robertson. Rene Robertson is 4th, 1.0 ahead of Glenfield. Glenfield is P5, 1.4 behind Rene Robertson. Rene Robertson was 1.2 faster last lap. Rene Robertson in turn 10-11, light bulb is 4th, 1.0 behind Brian Patterson. Glenfield in turn 13, Arendt's turn is P5. Best lap is a 1:38.421. 2.042 off the fastest lap. Rene Robertson in turn 3, Millstone turn is P4, 1.0 behind Brian Patterson. Glenfield in turn 5 is P5, 1.6 behind Rene Robertson. Rene Robertson in turn 10-11, Lightbulb is 4th, 1.5 ahead of Glenfield. John Astrup in turn 13, Arendt's turn is 6th, 1.3 behind Glenfield. 20 minutes remaining in the session. Rene Robertson in turn 3, Millstone turn is 4th, 1.4 behind Brian Patterson. John Astrup in turn 4, Colasante corner is 6th, 0.5 behind Glenfield. Rene Robertson in turn 9, Valley of the Lefts is P4, 1.4 behind Brian Patterson. John Astrup is P6, 0.3 behind Glenfield. Rene Robertson is P4, 1.2 behind Brian Patterson. John Astrup in turn 2, Hansjön turn is 6th, 0.2 behind Glenfield. Rene Robertson is P4, 0.7 behind Brian Patterson. Rene Robertson lost P5 to John Astrup. John Astrup is P5, 0.5 behind Glenfield. Brian Patterson is P3, 1.7 behind Adalaksanyi. John Astrup is P5, 0.5 behind Glenfield. Brian Patterson on lap 9 is P3, 2.0 behind Adalaksanyi. Rene Robertson exiting pits. John Astrup in turn 6 is 5th. Best lap is a 1:36.911. 0.532 off the fastest lap. Brian Patterson is P3, 1.9 behind Adalaksanyi. John Astrup in turn 12 is 5th, 0.1 behind Glenfield. "15 minutes remaining in the session. Brian Patterson in turn 3, Millstone turn is 3rd, 1.7 behind Adalaksanyi. Glenfield from United Kingdom in Millstone Straight is P5 battling John Astrup. Brian Patterson in turn 9, Valley of the Lefts is 3rd, 2.0 behind Adalaksanyi. Richard Ogden entering the pits is 8th. Glenfield is 5th, 1.2 behind John Astrup. Rene Robertson in turn 8, Valley of the Lefts is 7th. Adalaksanyi is P6. Adalaksanyi exiting pits. Richard Ogden exiting pits. Glenfield in turn 5 is P4, 1.8 behind John Astrup. John Astrup in turn 10-11, Lightbulb is 3rd, 1.9 ahead of Glenfield. Glenfield is P4. Best lap is a 1:38.204. 1.825 off the fastest lap. John Astrop in turn 3, Millstone turn is P3. Glenfield is 4th, 3.2 behind John Astrop. John Astrop in turn 10-11, Lightbulb is 3rd, 1.9 behind Brian Patterson. Glenfield is P4, 4.6 behind John Astrop. Ten minutes remaining in the session. John Astrop in Millstone Straight is 3rd, 0.8 behind Brian Patterson. Brian Patterson in turn 6 is P3 battling John Astrop. John Astrop was 3.7 faster last lap. Brian Patterson lost 3rd to Glenfield. Jules Xanyi in turn 8, Valley of the Lefts is 5th. Brian Patterson in turn 13, Arendt's turn is 4th, 0.8 behind Glenfield. Glenfield is P3, 0.6 ahead of Brian Patterson. Glenfield lost 3rd to Brian Patterson. Jules Xanyi in turn 4, Colasante Corner is P5, 4.6 behind Glenfield. Glenfield from United Kingdom in turn 9, Valley of the Lefts is 4th, 2.8 behind Brian Patterson. Jules Xanyi in East Straight is 5th, 4.1 behind Glenfield. Glenfield is P4, 3.9 behind Brian Patterson. Brian Patterson was 4.1 faster last lap. Julksanyi in turn 4, Colasante corner is P5. Best lap is a 1:37.814. 1.435 off the fastest lap. Glenfield in turn 9, Valley of the Lefts is 4th, 3.1 ahead of Julksanyi. Julksanyi is P5, 3.2 behind Glenfield. Five minutes remaining in the session. Richard Ogden entering the pits is P8. Glenfield is 4th, 3.2 ahead of Julksanyi. Julksanyi from Hungary in Echo Valley is 5th, 2.6 behind Glenfield. Glenfield in turn 10-11, Lightbulb is P4. Julksanyi in turn 13, Arendt's turn is P5, 2.1 behind Glenfield. Glenfield from United Kingdom is 4th, 2.2 ahead of Julksanyi. Julksanyi in Echo Valley is 5th, 1.9 behind Glenfield. Glenfield in turn 10-11, Lightbulb is 4th, 1.9 ahead of Julksanyi. Julksanyi in turn 13, Arendt's turn on lap 17 is P5, 1.3 behind Glenfield. Glenfield on lap 18 is P4, 1.0 ahead of Jules Ksany. Jules Ksany in turn 5 is P5, 0.7 behind Glenfield. Jules Ksany was 1.0 faster last lap. Rene Robertson in turn 4, Colasante corner is P7. Jules Ksany in East Straight is P5. Glenfield is 5th. John Astrup in turn 6 is P2. Glenfield is P5, 1.3 behind Jules Ksany. John Astrup is 2nd. Glenfield is 5th, 1.7 behind Jules Ksany. Jules Ksany in Millstone Straight on lap 20 is P4, 2.1 ahead of Glenfield. The leader has just finished the race. Martijn Mol finished first. John Astrup is 2nd. John Astrup finished 2nd. Brian Patterson finished 3rd. Jules Ksany finished 4th. Glenfield finished 5th. Attila Ksany is 6th. Adelaksanyi finished 6th. Rene Robertson finished P7.